What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode here of Radio Wigwam's Palangi Studio of Rock every Tuesday night here, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 UK. Today, we have a special guest interview here with Cody from the band Amerakin Overdose with their new record here, Artificial Infection. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Yeah, it's going good, man. Excited. Like we got a lot of new music we just put out, and with an album, you keeps you busy, and just got back from doing a little short run that we did. So
There you
very
go.
excited that we have some new music to show out to the people and playing some shows and whatnot. So
It's funny because when your video came on, I was like, okay, American Overdose has entered the room, everybody. And I was like, well, wait a minute. You don't look like what you do in the picture.
yeah, I mean, typically we wouldn't do I wouldn't do an interview masked if unless it's like on the spot at a show or
Yeah,
purposely set up that way. Typically I just do the interviews, or we do the interviews without the
regular.
masks
Because
and
some
whatnot.
bands
Just
don't, right?
yeah, some bands, that's their thing. For us, it's like we're not trying to hide who we are. It's just kind of part of the live performance.
Yeah.
And if it's requested in the interview for us to do a mask, of course we'll do it. But we're not, obviously, in today's age, you can't hide who you are anyway. So we're
That's
just
true.
we're just we just go out there and give you the raw thing.
You can hold up and be like, I got it right here, though, right here.
Actually, I don't have it, and
Yeah,
it's funny
okay.
you mentioned David earlier. He was getting on me about making videos with the mask, and I'm like, well, the mask isn't actually here. It's at band practice spot. I got left
Okay.
with all the merch and the gear and all that, and it's about an hour and a half away from where I live. So
So where are you
I'll
at
be
right
down there
now?
tomorrow. I'm in a suburb of Portland, Oregon, in
Okay.
the United States. So it's about maybe 25 minutes away from Portland. Our band practice spot is in the capital of our state, in Salem.
Okay.
So we all kind of live around each other, but at least, roughly about an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours away from each other. And we all kind of just go in the central spot, which is down in Salem, which is the
Okay. Do
capital
you
of
rent out of
Oregon.
space or is it space that you own?
We're renting out a space. It's a garage that is at a friend's house that we actually went to school with.
Ah,
And
okay.
two of our band members, Rommel and Justin, they constructed it into from a garage into a band spot. So they put up some drywall, and they
They
set it
got it
up with proper
nice
electricity
for
and all
you,
that.
right?
Yes,
A little
they got
bit.
all nice and soundproof, I guess. So the neighbors still kind of hear us, but we
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
we don't play too crazy loud, and we play with a lot of times we play with in-ear monitors anyways, so we're
Yeah.
hearing everything in our ears. Sometimes we like to hear the PA out loud, so we'll blast it a little bit, but
You
it's one of those situations where we're able to jam if we wanted to at like 2 o'clock in the morning. We wouldn't bother anybody.
Oh, there you go. Well, yeah, you feel the subs, once in a while you want to feel that, those low notes
Yeah,
and stuff like that. It's
I
like,
I still turn it on, dude. I turn on the PA. It's like if it's daytime and we're jamming, I turn it on because I'd rather not use the in ears and just have it blasting and just feel that intensity. The
yeah.
the, the drum set is electric, so
Yep.
that's still coming through, like the
You can
headphones and
play
whatnot.
anytime. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can play anytime, so it's very convenient for us.
You still, I mean, I think most of us start off in the garage or basement or something
Always,
jamming, at least
always.
this one has walls and stuff.
Dude, yeah, our first jam spot that we had in American Overdose, we called it the Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay.
Just a little play on words, and it just damp, cold. The roof was caving in, like
Oh,
it
no
was
heat.
just like no heat. So it was pure hell. Especially like we used to back then. We used to jam, like, I'm not kidding you, 3 to 4 times a week,
Yep.
and 4 hours a day. And it was, when it was cold, it was really cold. When it was hot, it's a garage, so it wasn't too hot and too bad. But yeah, we've jammed in the little shops and the little sheds and whatnot. That's
Gotta do what you gotta do, right? I remember
You
I
got to do what
jammed
you
in
got
a
to do.
barn and you can see outside, you could see through the slits. And I was
Oh
like, this
man.
is this was during the summer and it was like 100 or something or 90.
Oh god, that's the worst. And you're
Yeah.
out in the UK, right?
No, it's the station is. I'm from
The
upstate New
station.
York, actually. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I don't
All
have the
right. That's
accent.
all right. That's what I was wondering. I was like, okay, so you said the UK, but I'm like, you
Yep.
don't have the accent when I usually talk
I
to someone. It's
think
like that.
maybe I'm the only one from over here that reports for them, but that's cool.
Okay.
And
That's
there might
cool,
be
man.
one
That's
other
cool.
guy too.
I was
But
expecting the accent. I'm horrible about, like, when I hear an accent,
Oh, I can't even
It,
do
I don't
the
even
I
do it on
can't do the accent.
purpose. I don't even do this on purpose, but like if I hear a Southern accent, I hear UK or Australian, whatever, I mimic it like on not intentionally. It just comes out, and it's like, what in the hell's wrong with me? And it takes me like a
That's
day or
true.
two to like get it out of my
It's
system.
got to be a little bit of the acting thing, right?
Maybe I'm a horrible
Maybe.
actor too, though. I'm a horrible actor, so I always
Well,
tell people, I'm like, when we do music videos and whatnot, it's like, especially if something's funny, I can't stop laughing. So I got this stupid smirk on my face.
stop, wait.
Yeah, I gotta like channel myself outside of the situation and not think, because I'll overthink it and then
do
start
you
laughing. And
guys direct your own music videos? Or the director's like, dude, we got to get back and do this music video.
we direct our own music videos, but like
Okay.
the camera guy that works with us, the director guy that does our shootings, he's pretty good about rounding this up. It's just like we filmed a skit a couple of months ago, and in the skit we're just getting insulted by our manager, and
Oh, yep.
he's just making fun of us and talking all sorts of trash, and to me I'm just like laughing, and this is all stuff on the fly. It wasn't written down or anything,
Yeah. Are
so
you
I'm
supposed to
like
look scared in
laughing.
it?
I'm supposed to look scared. I'm supposed to look like kind of like insulted and pissed off, but like the whole time you can just tell in my face that I'm like trying to hold back a smirk and whatnot.
I see that once in a while in videos. They're like, you catch something, they try to cut it out. I'm like, I catch it. I catch it.
Yeah, yeah.
But with the mask, though, probably a little bit easier, right? If you're wearing the mask.
The mask, yeah. I mean, it channels the inner demon within you, and you just kind of feel like a sense of freedom when you're out there. Yeah, it sucks because it's like suffocating. It's hot. You got these lights and all that,
Yep.
but almost like it channels something in your brain where you get out there and you're like, all right, it's go time. You become a demon and it just become the character that's there. So like for live shows, it helps in that sense where it's like it's kind of like a whip that's just cracking in you, and it's like, all right, it's go time. You go out there, perform. You're
Yep.
in character.
Are you fans of, you got to be fans of Slipknot, right? It's the first thing I
Oh
thought
yeah,
of.
oh yeah, dude. I mean that
Um,
is especially what inspired the whole theatrics and whatnot for this band. Was Slipknot was the very first band that I ever saw live in concert, and this
oh,
is like
really?
back in 2000. So they were still
Yep.
playing clubs. It was right when the
Oh,
album had
wow.
just came
Okay.
out, so they were playing small clubs.
I seen
It
him in Arena
was
one time. I think it was all the original members. I think maybe the one had passed away, the first member that,
Paul.
yeah. And they were loud. That's all I
Yeah.
remember. Really
Well,
loud.
imagine seeing them in a small club. I saw them in a 1,200 seater, and it was,
Yeah.
it was packed, a sold out show. And this was back in 2000. They were just, that first album had just come out, and
I
so
felt the
people were
echo
aware of
right
them.
in me. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was, and I was 14 years old. So like when I saw them come out on stage and their get up and the energy, the intensity, the loudness, and all that, I was like, dude, I want to do
You
this. I
got to
want to do
do it.
music. I want to put on a show. I want to have a visual. I want to have the intensity and all that. So they're definitely a huge inspiration for the visual part of it.
How'd you develop the
So
costume, like versus? Because I know there's some bands that have done it as Guar. There's a lot of bands that kind of wear. Well, Kiss is the one obviously that started the costume thing, but
yeah. So it's been an evolving thing. It's just been like trial and error of what like looks cool, what works
you have a
live.
mask maker that does it.
I have a mask. Yeah, I've had a
Okay.
couple of different mask makers. So ironically enough, the guy that just made my new mask that I recently started using, he actually worked for Slipknot and does Slipknot's masks. He's
Oh, there you
recently been
go.
working with him, and he works with Mudvayne. So he's been doing like
Yep.
Greg, the guitar player's head cast that he has with the spikes.
You're in good
He
company.
he he did that. Yeah, so I'm in great company. The guy that did my previous mask, that like the one with the hair, and it's like in the Toxic video and the Damage video,
Yeah.
that one also worked with Slipknot. He did Corey Taylor's the Gray Chapter mask, the old man looking mask. He did that one.
Okay.
So, and I've had other mask makers that I've worked with too as well in the past. So I always hire somebody and work with them with ideas, and usually it's like an evolution of what I've done prior, but like I give them like a description of kind of what I want to go with, and
Does
just
that
partner
change
with
with
them.
the
And
album that you guys are kind of feeling? Like, where did the
uh,
artificial infection comes from? Is this like AI kind of stuff coming about
it's
here?
exactly that. It's exactly
Okay,
that.
that's what I
So
got. I was
yeah,
I dig the song "I Am."
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So it is based off of like, you know, the world of social media and AI and all of the stuff that's ruling the world right now. The look, basically what I wanted was, for the mask, when I described it to him, I said I wanted something that was familiar with the past masks that I've used, but make it look like sick, make it look like sunken in cheeks and
Mhm.
deteriorating face. I didn't want to look, when I go for masks, I typically don't want to go for like a gargoyle or some like mystical monster like Guar. No
Oh,
offense to them. Like I
yeah,
don't try to go
yeah.
for that. I
I'm
try to
not
go
into
for
that
something
stuff
more.
either, really.
It's yeah, it's cool for them. It works for them, but like the costumes and all that, when I do it, I try to make it look something that's semi relatable to people,
Yeah, there's a little
and
bit of
not
like
from another world.
Leatherface kind of stuff going on too, because I'm a big fan of
Yes.
horror movies. So,
Same here. Same
yep.
here. So that's where I draw a lot of my inspiration. Is that I grew up on '80s slasher films and all that, stuff like from the '90s
The
and
first
whatnot.
thing I
So
thought was Texas Chainsaw 2, actually. Has
yeah,
that look
yeah.
and vibe. Yeah.
And what's funny is like the last mask that I had, the one with the hair, I kind of drew inspiration from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I believe it's the third or fourth one. The one where it kind of looks like it's a female, but it's a male,
Yeah.
or I'm
4.
not
Yeah.
sure. I think it's
Yep.
four.
Yep.
So when I worked with the mask maker, I said I want something that's gender neutral looking. It's got the masculine features, but you're not sure.
Yeah.
And so when I got that mask created, it was exactly that. And people were just like, dude, it's disturbing. Like, I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it kind of looks like your face, but then it kind of doesn't. And
Yeah.
so unfortunately, that mask on our run that we did in May was thrown in the trash by accident when we were cleaning out the van. And dude,
Oh.
I was heartbroken. I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
You make another
I
one?
Well, I didn't make another one of those. And so
Oh.
I'm going to work with that mask maker to get another one eventually made, but it was very expensive. And
Yeah. If you're not going to use
he's a
it
very busy
anymore.
guy.
Yeah.
He's a very busy guy. So when I hit him up after it got thrown in the trash, I'm like, dude, I don't have a mask. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? He's like, well, I'm working on tools, I'm working on something with Tool right now. And so he was busy with obviously a much bigger artist than us. And
Yeah.
so I totally understood. Luckily, a fan of ours and a friend of ours came and saved the day for us to play the Milwaukee Metal Fest out in Wisconsin. He
Mhm.
had a replica made of my mask, one of my older masks, and he was attending the show. So I hit him up and I'm like, dude, can you
Wow.
please do me this huge solid and bring that mask? And I'll wear it, I'll sign it, I'll do whatever. We'll get you, hooked up with gear. But I need
Free
this mask because
tickets.
I was on the road. Yeah, I was on the road with like no mask. I
Yeah.
didn't bring a backup or anything. And
To go to the
my
Halloween store,
buddy,
pick up a skin mask or something.
there was, yeah, unfortunately there was no Halloween stores. This was in May. This was a couple months ago.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
my buddy Kyle saved the day. So shout out to Kyle for bringing the mask. And
There you
because it
go.
was a huge show. It was like a one-off show. We were playing Jamie Joseph from Hatebreed, his festival,
Yep.
Milwaukee Metal Fest. And so
Oh,
I
yeah, I've heard
needed
of
to
that.
make sure that I
One of
had to
my
show up
fans,
in that way.
Billy Gomez, she goes, I listened to them. She goes, no way. Because I just posted on Instagram that I was doing an interview with you guys. And she's like,
Oh, hell
no
yeah.
way.
That's cool. That's awesome, man.
Likes the
I
heavy
love hearing
shit.
that. I love knowing that like our music has been spread around the world, like in different parts, and to people like that you normally would never thought would listen to your music and whatnot. So it
Yeah.
tells me that we're doing something right if we're spreading the word and it's getting out there. So it's
Yeah,
cool
because
to
there's a
hear.
lot of bands that are up and coming where I'll get emails and they'll be like, you want to interview this band and stuff like that. And I'll get a few messages saying, you're interviewing those guys? I listen to those guys. I go, okay, so that's a good thing, you
That is
know?
awesome. Hell yeah.
So,
No, that's for sure.
because
That's
I'm in the
cool. So
studio a lot. I make horror films too, but I'm not actively like always trying to search for new metal and new artists and things. I'm like, a lot of times I'm like, I don't have the time to listen to a lot of music anymore.
that's how
So
it is anymore, man. That's
it's
that's really how
like,
it is.
so I know it's like, so when I was a kid, because I first started off and I handed a band a CD and I was like, I made the CD. Can you listen to it? I never understood that. Oh, well, they always have a little bit of time. Sometimes they don't.
Yeah, they really don't. Are you? So how old are you?
I am 36 now.
36. Okay,
Yep.
we're not far apart. Then
Yep.
we grew up in the same era of like CDs and
Oh
like
yeah.
tapes and
Yeah. A lot
all
of people
that.
think
So
I'm younger than what I am, but I'm like, no,
I was gonna say you look like you're in your early 20s, but that's
yeah.
that's cool. It's good.
It's a good
Good for
thing.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
CDs,
remember
digital
back in the
tape
day.
recorders. How'd you guys start recording?
So the very first recording, luckily with this band, anyways, we started in the studio. So I started this project kind of out of spite of just being sick and tired of playing in bands and creating something awesome, a band name, the songs, lyrics, all that stuff, and never it going anywhere other than maybe playing some live shows, right?
Yep.
Never actually got in the studio to record. Maybe we had some recordings in the mid, like the microphone in the middle of the room. Did that.
Hmm.
Horrible. And so it would always start playing shows and then it'd fall apart and I'd have to start from scratch again. So I'm like, dude, I'm done doing this. Like, I'm done being the guy that puts all this effort into something only for it to crumble because of one or two guys that don't have the same vision or they don't have the dedication.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
It's hard to
found a
find band guys.
producer. I found a producer online here in Portland that was advertising his company. His name's Human, and I saw some of the work that he'd done. I was very intrigued and impressed with what he was able to compose and how he was recording. So I met with him and I brought him a series of ideas of all these different bands that I kind of wanted to just grab and meld together and put something out, like
Yeah.
for my own personal project. Came up with the band name. This was back in like 2009. Came up with the band name
Okay.
that I wanted. I knew that I wanted to do the image thing because I tried doing it in previous bands and it never worked because not everyone was all about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and I had a sound that I wanted to do. So if you remember 2009, new metal was not very popular. Like, that was a bad thing. People were hating it.
Yeah. Yep. It
It
was
was all
on
about
kind of way
metalcore and
out then.
deathcore.
Yeah.
It was way out.
Yeah.
It started phasing out around 2002, 2003. That's when it started like phasing out. And then by 2009, new
Oh
metal was
yeah.
a dirty word. Even the new metal bands were like, "We're not a new metal band. We're not a new metal band." And I'm like, "Whatever. You're the goddamn godfathers of new metal."
They've called
So
Linkin Park new metal. I'm like, I don't know, maybe a little bit, but you know what I hear? I hear Power Man 5000. I hear Rob Zombie. I hear obviously Slipknot. I hear Drowning Pool. I hear, like you said, Mudvayne.
yeah.
Um, there was one kind of off-brand band I heard, and I can't remember who they were right now. And I'm like, is there any off influences? Like, do you like somebody like what is a band that people wouldn't expect that maybe is one of your influences?
Well, I've been very public about like the bands that I do like and listen to. So I think, like, as far as like our sound that is very different from us, like Pantera, for example. I
Yeah,
fucking love Pantera. I think Phil Anselmo and Dimebag and Vinny and Rex were just like, they're metal legends, man. They're musician legends. So when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh
Vinny.
yeah, that's cool." Like, it is different from the genre of music that we do, but you can hear the influence in it, like with the aggression stuff.
Yeah.
Um, as far as inspiration from outside, I would say, obviously I've pulled from like EDM world, and I don't have a specific artist I can throw at you to say like I like this, but like, whenever it's on, I'm like, yeah, I like that, and then I get inspiration to when I get
There's
back on my
techno
in my
elements
studio.
in your songs too, like that.
Exactly.
I notice your stuff's mixed a little bit differently too, because I mix and master things, and I'm like, it's different, like Rob Zombie kind of, I don't know if he was the first one to kind of do that kind of stuff, but I would go, it's different even from that, and different even from like Power Man, how they throw in stuff like that.
Our
Slipknot.
producer is from the UK, or not from the UK. He's from the Ukraine, so that's
Oh,
that's
I
where
got you.
the mixing's coming from.
Yeah. Because you got bands nowadays like Star Set, and then there was, I remember, Like a Storm. I don't know if you ever heard of
Oh,
them.
yep, yep.
Um, and there's some elements and that kind of stuff, but it's different too. Like your guys' song, like some of them are heavier, and then some of them kind of go into like kind of modern hard rock, and then there's the new metal sound too. So it's not just like
So I was
every song we're beating the head on the pavement. You know what I mean? I
exactly,
mean, it
and so
is, but in a
that's
different
kind of what I
way.
was. That's kind of where I was going when I wanted to start this band. Is like, and I joke around. I say it's kinky metal, right? Like, because it's
Yeah.
like you try anything, and
Well, you got some
there's a
beats
blend
in
of all
there.
sorts of
Some of
stuff.
them you
Yep, some
groovy.
beats, a little
Yeah.
bit of rappy stuff, and some of the songs. You got your aggression, you have your little weird things here and there. So I don't like to have us like be forced into like something that, like a box. I like to be
Yes.
able to expand, and that's the hope with the new stuff that we're going to be doing. With this new album, obviously, is very different from previous
It
albums, but you
is.
can
It
hear that
is.
the band's evolved. The new stuff that we're working on is going to be continuing on that, where it's going to continue to change. And I'm already working on the new song, our new song that we're hopefully going to release
Okay.
soon, even though we
Okay.
just released an album.
Yeah, you
I want to
released the
continue
album, yeah.
writing and recording.
Okay.
So I want to continue working and writing. And so on this, we have a new song that I'm working on right now with a producer and a guest guitarist and a new, what I would consider a new metal legend
Okay.
from a well-known new metal band. I won't say who, but I just talked to him yesterday on the
What
phone, and
instrument does he play?
it's a vocalist. He's gonna be my
Oh,
vocal coach. He's gonna
okay.
be my
Okay.
vocal coach, and
Okay.
I'm gonna work with him alongside with him to come up with a way to further challenge my vocals and get those huge, powerful hooks and powerful melodies and harmonies and all that. Just
Yeah.
so I'm very excited for that. But the band is gonna continue to evolve, and now that we have a new guitar player, a new bass player, they have a background of working together because the bass player is actually originally a drummer, but he came in on board with us
Okay. Okay. Yep.
as a bass player because he likes to play bass and he's been playing bass for a while. And the guitar player and him, they've been in bands since they were like kids, dude. Like since they're talking like I think 12, 13, 11 years old. So they bring a background of thrashiness to them. So I'm hoping that they bring that element with the new stuff that they start writing for our stuff and just
That
come up
would
with
be
some really
cool.
heavy, heavy, heavy stuff too.
I
So
could hear that. Some
yeah,
Pantera,
so
Pantera elements going in there. And I'm like, okay, oh,
and
Metallica.
yep, and those are the two of their favorite bands. So um
Where's the gallop?
I'm excited to hear what they do when they grab their influences and meld it with what American Overdose kind of is, and
Yeah.
just see it evolve and continue to grow. And
Yeah.
so
I have a feeling you guys are going to get faster. Real
probably.
quick. Real quick.
Well, what's funny is like so you mentioned like the song "I Am." Like we haven't played that live yet. I've been wanting to feel it out to see how it is,
What's
but I
that
just
song
know
about?
it's kind of accepting the fact that you are who you are, how you are, and you're just kind of putting it out there, and nothing's going to change that. You can admit your faults, you can admit your who you are and how you are and what you do and whatnot, and you're not justifying it, but you're just basically saying, this is how I am. Take me for how I am, and
Yeah.
this is how it's going to be. And the song, I don't know if you heard the song "The Gray." The Gray is kind of continuation of that, but it's more
Okay.
geared towards when people try to water down who you are, and they try to put you as like you're this extreme or you're that extreme,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like they want a watered down version of either side, and it's like, no, you're going to get me for how I am, and this is who I am, and it's worth it
And
getting me for the
fortunately,
way that
what
I'm in.
that is, everybody, is Radio Wigwam here. We're back here again. What's on every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Sometimes we have guests and sometimes we have playlists. We also do audio playlist shows. So if I ever had you on again as a follow up, you'd put like 8 to 10 of your favorite rock or metal songs and we just talk about them. And it's an audio
Hell yeah.
show, which is pretty cool. Um, Anyways, I was going into is, we talk about a lot of gear on here too. We talk about, a lot of different things. And, it's not typical all the time of, radio people saying, hey man, what microphones do you use and what's your techniques and all that kind of stuff. But I like to dive in that a little bit. Do you have any vocal warm-ups or things that you do before the studio or live shows? And then what vocal mics do you use?
So vocal mic that I use is a SM58. It is a wireless. I just recently purchased it. I had one that I'd been using since like 2011. And it was also
Okay.
an
All right.
SM58 wireless,
Yep.
but it was dying. It was dying on, it would cut out and whatnot. So I had to buy another one. So I bought exactly the same thing almost, but a newer version of
Is it
it.
the beta or
And
the regular 57?
it's the beta.
The beta.
It's the
Okay.
beta, and it works great. I love it. It's Shure makes great microphones, so I don't really have anything I can say that I would change about it, and that's
Mhm.
why I went and invested some more money on buying it, the same thing, just an updated version of it. As far as at home, right now I'm using AKG P220 for recording. As I'm
Okay. Yeah, I know
looking
what
at it,
that
it's
is. Yeah.
nothing fancy, nothing
Yeah.
super expensive, but for my home studio, it works for when I'm when I'm putting down ideas, and then sometimes
Yeah.
I'll record the vocals here, the final vocals here, and then send them to my producer, and he does his
Okay.
magic with them.
You ever check out
As
the C414s? Those are sick from AKG.
what is it? The C what?
C414. That's the model number.
C414.
Yeah.
Okay,
Those
I'll have to
are
check that out.
those are sick.
Does it make a big difference? Do you think? Do you feel like it's a huge jump?
Yeah, you got to be careful though, because there's three or four different models, and based off the type your voice, you use or what you're going to use it for, you got to be careful. Well, one's like an X and one's like an XS too. So you're like, what do I get? So you have to be a little bit careful when you research those, or you just get like if they make it anymore, they made a 214 and a 314. I've owned all of them. I like the 4 the best, but AKG stuff, it's always they have different textured things. So it depends on your voice, what you're using it for, but definitely check those out though. I
Be a
think
good
you'd
idea to go
like if you
sample it.
yeah, if you like that mic, you'd probably like this even better.
Oh, hell yeah. What's
Yeah.
funny about microphones is like you really can't, it seems like you can't tell, I can anyways, tell the difference between a $250 mic and a $600 mic. But then once you get into the $2,000, $3,000 mics, then it's like, oh, okay, I hear the difference. Like
Yep.
when there's a huge gap, then you can definitely tell.
I have
I
bought and
haven't,
sold many mics, probably 30, 40, 50 mics. And it's the
damn.
same thing. I'm just like, I'm on that hunt. You know what I mean? I'm on
Yeah,
the search.
for the
Yep.
perfect one.
Let's shout out this show here, SE Electronics. This is the first time I've used their USB podcast mic, and every one of their mics I get, it's I don't know what they do to them, but I used to use the Shure beta stuff live too. Now I use their the Miles Kennedy V7s, and all their stuff is solid too. They're like workhorse stuff, and it limits the feedback a little bit more than some of the other mics. But I decided to wear a t-shirt and stuff today because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this mic out for the show and see
Oh
how it
yeah.
is. And I love doing stuff. And there's also Cat Audio. I use a lot of their stuff, and they're great with indie artists too. They'll whether you're on the road or whatever, they'll help you out a lot too.
That's
But
good to know. I gotta start. I gotta start venturing out and just seeing what else is out there.
the problem is
Like I
it's
said,
expensive, right? So it's like I
yeah,
have a Shure ribbon microphone behind there that's the 353, and it's like $2,500 or something.
damn,
So it's
yeah,
like I've worked a couple of years up to try to get that. No, I've used the mics that quote unquote are below that. You know what I'm talking about? Where
yep.
you're trying to get to that microphone. So it's unfortunately, I wish there was a place we could go to and sing and kind of record something in every single model to compare them and then be like, okay, I want that one.
Yeah,
Or the $600 mic is better than that mic. You know what I mean?
Guitar Center kind of has something like that right now. Like I've been to a couple of them where they have like you push the button and then this one's active. It's not to record, but you can hear on the headphones. But then
Yeah.
again, you're also dependent of how good those headphones are and what they pick up. You know, if you have a
Yep.
cheap pair of
Yep.
headphones and they're only picking up the bassy stuff, you might think that microphone's only good for bass. So
They ain't gonna let you try it on
um,
Newman either, like something like a
no,
Newman
hell no,
microphone.
hell no. I
No,
don't blame them. I don't blame them.
no.
But
Well,
you can sample some of
that's
the
what I
cheap ass
want.
ones. Yeah, yeah. I would love to be able to do that because then I'd be able to be like, all right, this is the microphone that's right for my voice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
As far as other gear that I use a TC Helicon voice.
Yep.
I forget the rest of the models.
Vocalist Live 2 or something.
Yep, Vocalist
Yep.
Live 2. So
Yep.
that helps with obviously, getting a little bit of reverb. It helps with preventing any of those peaks and whatnot. So I use that live
Yeah,
and
it's perfect.
worked,
You can do
worked great for
harmonies with
me.
that too a little bit. So you
Yep.
can turn that off and on.
Yep. I like
Yep.
to use the mud vein effect that's on there and I kind of tweak some of the settings so that
Okay.
it's got more of my kind of sound on it. But
Okay. I used to use it for
yeah, that's
acoustic when I played acoustic. That was pretty cool.
oh hell yeah.
Yep. They've got some good, they have individual pedals that I just bought actually, which
Oh really?
I think are kind of, I wouldn't say
By
better.
TC?
Yeah, TC. So
Okay.
they have a tone knob on there and they have reverb, delay, and some of them have like auto correction pitch or they have like something different. But what enables you to do, right, is like, because the songs, right, sometimes you have that effect that you just need to turn on for a second. You don't have a sound
Yep.
guy or anything to do it, so you could literally have a second pedal that has like, say, mega delay, the type of delay that's on the record, and you shout the end of the thing, you step on it with your foot, and it'll do it like in the record. So
Damn, I didn't know they had that. I'm gonna have to look into that because
yeah, I think it's 9 volts. So you just get one of those power supplies and you can hook 2 or 3 of them together and then use them as your main one and then your effects one.
oh
So
yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that because that sounds interesting. Right now, I currently have it just set on one setting, and it's back over by
yep, that's what I
where
always
all our
used to do.
electronics are at.
Yep, yep. That's right. I've got it underneath me. I'm not sure what the the one's critical mass. That's a cool one. It's called. Check that out. That's a
Critical
neat one.
mass.
Guys, if you hear my stomach growling, I haven't eaten yet today. I've heard it like 5 times.
Oh, I'm fasting. I've been fasting, so my stomach's been kind of growling too.
Yeah,
I can't eat until after 1 o'clock today.
there's
So, and
no
it's
animals
only
in
10.
here. So I know you guys on your website, you got t-shirts available. Do you still make CDs?
We do. Yeah, that's
Okay.
so we did a pre-order. We did a special with our CDs when fans ordered it. If they
Yep.
pre-ordered the album, we gave them a month where once we announced the album was coming out, the date and whatnot, they could get their name or whatever name they wanted in the album artwork. So it was printed on there. So all the people that pre-ordered a
Oh.
month or 2 months in advance got their names on everything that we printed. So we printed about 1,000 CDs, and so I'm still a firm believer that the CDs do sell when you have them available. People still
Yeah.
come up to the merch booth all the time, and if we have albums, they're like, "Oh, do you have a CD?" I'm like, "Yep." Now people are asking for vinyl too, so I'm like, "Should we do vinyl?" I know it's more expensive and it
Yeah.
takes more time to print and all that, but I'm really considering getting some just so that we have them available for the people that do like to collect it. But yeah, we do have
Yeah.
we're almost out of the first album that we put out from 2012. We have a ton of the ones from the Great American Dream, our second album, and then obviously the brand new album. We have a bunch of them. So
Yep.
we do have albums available on the website. You can buy them at the shows and whatnot.
I notice I know less people are buying CDs in general, but I notice they buy it more for like the autograph, especially if you
Yep.
guys autograph it. So
Yep. And that's what we do
yeah.
all the time. So I always tell people, I'm like, go say hello at the merch booth after we're off the stage. Come meet us, take a picture.
Yep.
You don't have to buy anything, but if you want to buy something, we have things available.
Yep.
So we also print out like these. We have these printouts that we like to give out to people, whether it's a picture of us or a picture of some of our logos, and we just give those out to fans. And it has our QR code with all of our links and
Oh
all of our
wow.
information to contact us. So I give those out. It's a reason for someone to take something home with them that can put on their wall. Gives them all of our links, and then if they want something, they want it signed, we sign it. So
That's
we try
cool.
to get as creative as we can with our marketing and getting our name out there constantly and having something that someone can take home with them to remember us by, because there is thousands and thousands and thousands of bands out there. It's
Oh
like it's
yeah.
easy to forget
Yeah.
somebody. So
Yeah, it's tricky on what some bands do get really creative on their merch and some things like that. Nowadays, how do you mix it between the analog and the digital
yep.
world? You know what I mean? Like I don't have one of those card readers, but I know a lot of bands do. But you also need Wi-Fi and stuff too. And I'm like, well, not
So
every
here's the thing,
venue
dude.
has a Wi-Fi.
Here's something that recently I found out because we lost our card reader about 2 shows before the end of it. Now, if you use like Zettel through PayPal,
Yep.
they have a tap function. So now you don't need the card reader. Someone can just tap their card on your phone, and you can take payment. So if that's been
Okay.
stopping you from taking payment, go check it out.
Probably have to have a
It's
certain type of phone for that though, right?
no a
No,
smartphone. Do you have a
just
smartphone?
no, I don't know.
You don't have a smartphone? No
I
fucking
am old
way.
school, man. I don't even use my
Wait.
cell
You have a flip
phone.
phone or what?
It's a track phone.
Track phone. Okay. Damn. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I am
Oh
old
wow.
school. I do
So you
everything, emails and stuff. When I leave, man, I leave that stuff behind.
you're a smart man. If I
Yeah.
could get out of it, dude, I would. It's like, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, with like I said, that fucking social media rules the world, and it's like if we want to get our band
Yep.
known, it's like we have to play the game. And
I tell
if I
people,
could, I would
listen,
just disappear.
I got PayPal, I got Venmo, or it's cash.
Yeah. Well, that works. I mean, that
But
works too. So,
yeah.
if someone wants something bad enough, they'll make it happen with their, their means of
Yeah.
getting the funds.
Oh yeah. And a lot of times too, like you ever been to shows where people are like, oh, I don't have any money now, but oh, okay, this is on your website. I can go back and get it on your website. I would
Yep.
say about half the people that say that actually do go to the website and get something afterwards. There's
Oh,
some
yeah.
that don't too. I don't know if they just forget or if they were drunk that night or something, but I never, it's something that I think as an artist, like you can't take personally too, or they realize like some people it's like they spend too much that night
Yeah. Oh,
on
yeah.
drinking and
Oh,
stuff, and they're like,
drinking and food, and then like any more concerts are so expensive. It's
oh
like
yeah,
I went and saw Blink 182. It was like $90 just to see them. Like, and we had like 300 level seats, and it's
that's
like,
not bad now, I guess,
yeah,
but
that's not bad, I guess. But at the same time, I'm like, how much do those people spend down there on the floor? Like,
oh yeah. Carnival of whatever Sins tour from Motley Crue. I looked at my ticket the other day and I came across it and I go, I was in maybe the seventh row and it was only $95 a piece. And it
oh
was
wow, that's not bad at all.
well, that was 2006, five, something like that.
Yeah,
So that now it'd be what, $400?
I was gonna say, yeah, I thought that you meant that like nowadays, like no,
No, oh
back
my,
then, and
no, that
even
would have
back then,
been.
that was expensive because
I thought it was. I thought $100 was expensive. Yeah.
oh hell yeah, I thought so. I went to Knotfest in 2014 down in California, and I ended up spending like $230 a ticket, and it was for 2 days, a shit ton of bands. Slipknot played twice, and I thought that
Yeah.
was a lot. And then now, like you spend easily $400 $500 for a festival
Yeah.
for one day.
Yeah.
Like that's just nuts to me. Like
I try to either get in free or I pull the radio card or something.
there you go. Whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to
Yeah.
do.
Try to get in there. Well, I'm here to interview that band actually. Oh, you are? Yeah. Come on over here.
Hell yeah. Smart man.
But yeah, man, no, I appreciate you having a show here. And this is Cody from American Overdose here. The new record is Artificial Infection, which I don't know. What do you think of the whole AI thing before we go? Because I know the record's based off of that, but what do you think of that whole thing?
So I'm one of those
Skynet.
people that will keep an open mind about it. Like I know there's people that just absolutely hate it and they're against it, but it's like if something's gonna happen, like technology wise, it's gonna happen. There's no matter how mad I get or I can protest and bitch
Yeah,
about
you
it and
can't
use it
stop it.
as you can't stop it. You just gotta embrace it and just find a way to make it work with you. It's scary to think about that someone can make a video of you saying or doing something that you may not have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
My hope is that there's going to be a way to stop that, or way to protect yourself from being falling victim to that,
Yeah.
with pictures and videos.
Or they say, listen, it
Um,
got 1 million views, and everyone's like, who's this guy on this AI video? And then they check you out, and then you have more followers.
yeah,
So it's like,
I mean, it could work for you, it can work against you. And like the other day, my buddy, my guitar player, he made this AI song. Basically, just it's an app. He put in his own lyrics that he wanted, and
yeah.
he was just kind of making fun of like our situation that we were at in Vegas, and it wrote a freaking really good like Nickelback style rock song, dude. Like I'm talking drums, guitar, it sings it for you, and it sounded just like Chad Kroger from Nickelback playing a song and then singing lyrics about us personally and whatnot. And I'm just like,
Ah,
what? And this is in a matter of seconds, dude. I'm just like, what the like? It blew my mind, but it made me
wow.
realize that that's kind of the age that we're in right now. And this app will create like 400 songs for you for like $60, and it's just it's wild and it's crazy. I just hope that
But you
you
can't
know
copyright it. It's
you,
not real. I mean,
it's not
technically
real.
you could use it as a
But
demo and recreate it
I was gonna say
and
you could. I was gonna say so. It depends on what the rules are gonna be, because I'm sure that the music industry is gonna get crazy about tracking down, how original is this song, or
oh
how did you rip this off from somewhere, or did you draw inspiration from it, or I mean, there's got to be something, and it's weird to think like, or it's hard to think of what that might be, but I think we're just in the beginning like stages of
yeah.
what AI is
Especially
going to do
movies
for us.
too. Cause I'm like,
Movies too.
I'm making a horror movie. Give me a John Carpenter like score. Okay. It's royalty free. I can use it in my movie.
Or what if you want to use an actor that's dead in your movie? You might be able to have AI create that person.
Is that legal or not to have
Is it legal or not? Or if you want to have an artist that's dead, like if I want to have, let's say I want to
in
have
your music
Dimebag
video?
in my music video, Dimebag doing a guitar solo, and AI creates a Dimebag style solo. Like it's crazy to think about and what that's going to look like, and what can you believe, what can you not believe.
Yeah.
It's
I think the people
pretty
that
wild.
write songs, maybe just people that just sing and they don't have a band, they can't create music at all. And they're like, create me a song, an instrumental, and you have all that stuff, right? So it's basically
Yep.
getting a free drummer, free bass player, free songwriters, free guitarists, and maybe they just sing over it,
Yep.
and then
It's gonna
they're
be
like,
convenient for those. It's gonna be
they're gonna
convenient
be
for those.
like, this band, whatever, let's say this band sounds awesome, now go play live. What are you gonna do?
Backing tracks are popular, so that maybe backing tracks, you might have a drummer, but you don't have a guitar player. You're gonna have your
Oh,
drummer playing live, you're gonna be singing live, and then guitars are coming
yeah.
through.
I've done
I
that
mean,
too. I've taken stuff from my records. I've played shows that I've had to where the drums were to a recording because the drummer could not make the show and we had to play the show. So it was
yep.
me and another guitarist or something like that.
But you
But
use technology
it's real.
to help you. You use technology to help you, and that and you
Yeah.
embraced it.
Yeah.
And thank God you had that, because you wouldn't have been able to do that show. So I'm keeping an open mind about all of this stuff. Just being aware of possible consequences that can happen with it too. So
But it's
I'm not
audio
against
from
it.
your records. Like there's no problem with you guys, breaking it down and incorporating your, say it was your synth stuff or your drummer was sick and you're like, our drummer is sick, but our drummer is going to be the PA system today.
Yep. Yep.
But it's actually him. It's from your record,
A person put it together. Yeah,
it's
for sure.
different.
So like
Yeah.
it is very different. Like I said, there's no stopping what people are going to be doing with it.
Yep.
So it's just kind of just roll with it and see what happens. So I'm not
Definitely.
against it. I know a lot of people are, and it's like one
I
of
got
those
the
things. Like,
Terminator thing in my brain, so
yeah,
I don't feel it's a good thing.
yeah, it's a scary thing. It's a scary, scary, scary thing. But
Yep.
I'm sure we'll find our way around it, and there's going to be.
Let,
I'm hopeful. I'm
let's
hopeful
me and
with it.
you let's do a little test here. We'll do a thing where we'll say, okay, write me some lyrics to the AI. Write me some lyrics about loss, right? Take the
Mm-hmm.
loss, it spits you out whatever. Maybe because they're both singers, but maybe it would help you write differently, or people that want to get into it maybe write better, because maybe it's an example of, like you said, like the lyrics came out and they're actually really good, but how do you write that way? So maybe you could look at it as a tool of, how do I help myself as a songwriter or something like that. But
That's exactly it. So I've used Chat GPT before, where I'm like, write a song about, like you said, loss,
yeah.
and then it spits out all these lyrics. A lot of the lyrics just sound cheesy to me that AI spits out right now,
Okay.
but it might give me an idea of something related to loss, where I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to take that word and I'm going to write something based off around that word, or that is a feeling that you have with loss. Let me think of that and write my
Yeah.
own lyrics to that word. So yeah, it's a tool.
Yeah.
It's no different than a whammy bar on a guitar pedal, like
Yeah, or a
a
song you
whammy
listen
pedal.
to that inspires you and you're like, I want to write a song that's kind of like that. Obviously you don't
Yep.
copy it, but you do your own thing.
Yep. Exactly.
So
Exactly. So I see it as a tool. I don't see it as a something that's gonna like replace it, hopefully ever. But people take things so fucking far anymore that you just never know.
yep. Oh yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for being on the show here, Cody. I appreciate it. We got Radio Wigwam's Palangi Studio of Rock broadcasting from the studio, talking about gear and bands and all that good stuff. So you guys can go over to our social media page, chime in on who you want to be interviewed next here, and make sure you check out American Overdoses. Grab a T-shirt, get a CD, get something real, folks. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So go
Oh
check them
yeah.
out. They're all over on Spotify. And as I say every time, don't just stream it, but download it.
Yeah. Buy it.
The last words from Cody. See you guys, everybody. I'll see you later. Thanks for
Thanks
being
a
on the
lot,
show,
man.
man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.